of our race, by each feature on his face. Just look at him, I rest my case. Well, there you are. And it matters not to me what part of town you have come from. We but share you've made it here at all. Here within this garish parish called the music hall. And there you are. How very glad we are that there you are. It isn't who you are, but there you are. And there you are. And grateful of me to see how light and there you are. There you are. Angela, my dear, are you out there?
Oh, I'm up here in the royal box, Bill.
Oh, there you are. And who's that with you there?
I am standing near a gent who seems singularly bent on attaching both his hands to both my knees. I'm exhibiting the love of a most engaging chap, and I'll let him do exactly as I please.
I'm a lady down in front who's had it be her latchkey. Surely she must know that bells would do. Dear Russ.
Man has grand designs to show me in night in the moon.
And I mean this most sincerely. What a pleasure and delight it must be for you to have me here talking to you tonight. On this most thrilling of evenings at the Music Hall Royale. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have the privilege of presenting for your approval a premiere performance of The Mystery of Edwin Drood. This being a musicale with dramatic interludes. Now, as you are no doubt aware, our own Mr. Charles Dickens was fully halfway through the creation of the greatest mystery novel of our time when he committed the one ungenerous deed of his noble career. He died, leaving behind not the slightest hint as to the outcome he had intended for this bizarre and uncompleted puzzle, the mystery of Edwin Drood. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, when together we reach that point in our story beyond which Charles Dickens wrote no more, I shall be asking you to vote on key questions regarding the outcome of our plot. Our company will then make its most earnest effort to meet this supreme challenge to contrive an ending in your specifications. So, come on, let's all be vulgar! Uncivilized as is legally possible. Kick off your boots, loosen your corsets, and enjoy yourselves. Oh, and by the way, for those gentlemen among you who arrived alone and require companionship up to the final curtain, or beyond, you need only speak to our stage manager, Mr. James Throttle, whose pleasure it is to see that
you need never be lonely again. I'll fix you up later, sir.
Oh, look, Jim. He wants fixing up now. His tongue's hanging out. Oh, no, he's wearing a pink tie. Good evening, sir. They tell us that you are an authority on women. Well, the women don't know about it, but the authorities do. But please, remember, these sparkling and vivacious ingenues are not salaried employés, and so we do ask you to contribute generously towards the cost of their theatrical studies, and to make sure that all goods are returned tomorrow morning.
None the worse for wear.
Thank you. And so, by all means, let us proceed with this evening's bill of fare. For the first time ever, the completed musical rendition of The Mystery of Edwin smouldering cathedral city of cloistering. Not a particularly encouraging setting for the Christmas season now upon us. A wintry shudder goes through the giant elves as they shed a gush of tears. And here we are in the home of Mr. John Jasper, choir master choir master, composer, organist, vocal instructor. John Jasper is blessed with a voice the angels themselves might envy. And who, dear ladies and gentlemen, more suited to essay the role of John Jasper than that gifted vocalist himself, your very own Mr. Clive Paget. I sincerely hope that the moderation of your applause means that you are conserving your energy for the final curtain. John Jasper eagerly awaits the arrival of his beloved nephew and the title character of our evening's diversion, young Edwin Drood.
Hello, Uncle!
Ah, there's the lad now.
My dear Uncle!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you. Devotees of male impersonation are more used to seeing Miss Nutting in top hat and tails when she does her inimitable rendition of Aren't I Half a Toff? But tonight, she hides her distinctive form beneath the garb of young Edwin Drood. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause, if you will, for tonight's guest artiste, Miss Alice Nutting.
Any dinner, Uncle?
You forget, Ned, that uncle and nephew are words prohibited here by express agreement.
Yes, of course, you're right, Jack. After all, we do have only half a dozen years or so between our ages. Oh, hello, Jack. Don't drink yet. I must propose a toast.
A toast? To what, Ned?
He asks, to what? To Rosa.
Rosa!
To the fair Miss Rosa Budd. Surely you've not forgotten that Rosa and I are soon to be wed.
It has not quite slipped my mind.
Yes, a tedious ceremony in your creaking old cathedral, then off with my wonderfully pretty child bride to dusty Egypt, where I intend to shake things up a bit.
It is certain, then. Egypt seems a desperate great distance.
Indeed it is, John. This portrait of Rosa is not one of my better efforts, yet you choose to show it here. In heaven's name, why?
Because it reminds me of you, Ned, and the happiness I wish you and Rosa.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be quite happy. Although our courtship suffers from an unavoidable flatness, owing to the fact that my dead and gone father and her dead and gone father had as good as married us at birth. Why the devil couldn't they have left us alone?
Tut, tut, dear boy.
Tut, tut. Yes, it's all very well for you, Jack. You have the freedom to love whomsoever you choose. Have I hurt your feelings, Jack?
How could you hurt my feelings?
Good heavens, Jack, you look frightfully ill. There's a strange film come over your eyes.
I have been taking a medicine for a pain and agony that overcomes me. I have been forced of late to seek treatment in London. Fear not, the effects will soon be gone.
My dear uncle!
Then take it as a warning. Edwin, this is a confidence between us.
It shall be sacredly preserved, John.
I have confided in you because...
Because we are fast friends. And because you love and trust me as I love and trust you. Both ends, Jack. My dearest Uncle Jack.
My dearest nephew Ned, a life without your friendship would be life as good as dead. The hell they know, but as you well may know, I'll heed your call to me to spoil the feast the fire below. For you, two kinsmen more than brothers, we never know next of kin, but yet we know all that's closer in the skin. The blood that flows between us, the bonds that tie us twain, two kinsmen were brothers, we remain. My dearest nephew Ned.
My dearest Uncle Jack.
that splendid duo. At a shilling a seat, two voices at the same time is indeed an embarrassment of riches. Although looking at some of you out there, I doubt whether you'd be embarrassed by much. But to continue with our story, young Edwin Drood is visiting Cloisterham to offer his regards to his bride-to-be, the fair Miss Rosa Bard, who, like Drood, is an orphan. Rosa resides in Cloisterham's most respectable seminary for young ladies, aptly, if not correctly named, the Nuns' House, where, as you know, there's none of this and none of that, and not one of the other. Ladies and gentlemen, in the part of Rosa Bud this evening, that most delicate of English roses, that blossoming bud that has yet to be plucked, the unspeakably lovely Deirdre Peregrine!
Rosa, the happiest of birthdays to you. I only pray I may be able to say this on each of your birthdays.
I fear that it's not likely, since, as you know, your own nephew Edwin and I would be departing for Egypt once we are married.
It was only a wish, Rosa. Thank you, ladies. That will be all. How beautiful you look. I have awaited your birthday with eagerness.
Eagerness, Mr. Jasper?
Yes, your voice will no longer be as subject to the fluctuations of adolescence. And in what condition is your voice today, my dearest student?
As my tutor, perhaps that question could best be answered by you, Mr. Jasper. Shall I sing the Mozart?
No. I have composed a song for you, my loveliest subject, on the occasion of your birthday. A choir master's pay being what it is, my life's blood is the most I can afford to offer.
Mr. Jasper, I cannot sing these words. It would not be proper.
Why? Whatever could you mean?
I do not. I'm not worthy.
As your music master, that should be my decision. From the beginning, please.
Between the very dead of night and day, upon a steely sheet of light, I lay, and in the moonfall, I'll give myself to you, I'll bathe in moonfall, and rest myself in dew. Before the cloak of night reveals the morn, time holds its breath while it conceals the dawn, and in the moonfall, all sound is frozen still, yet warm against me. Your skin will warm the chill. Betwixt our hearts let nothing intervene. Between our eyes the only sight I've seen is the lustrous moonfall as it blinds my view, so that soon I only see
But lovely will not do. When you sing these words, you must make me feel you mean them. Once again. If you please.
Between the very dead of night and the dead of the stage. I can't bear this, I'm frightened. Take me away.
It's nothing. It's all. Speak to her for a minute and she'll be well.
She's not used to an audience. Besides, Mr. Jasper, you are such a conscientious master that I believe you make her afraid of you. It's no wonder.
No wonder.
You'd be afraid of him under similar circumstances, wouldn't you, Miss Landless?
Not under any circumstances.
Ladies and gentlemen, our own fiery spirit, the unpredictable Miss Janet Conover. Mr. Jasper, allow me to introduce young Neville Landless. He and his twin sister Helena have both arrived from Ceylon, where they no longer have any family. Neville has been entrusted to my care, and Helena will be staying here at the nun's house.
Welcome to Cloisterham, Mr. Landless. You and your sister have lost your parents recently?
Oh, their mother died in Ceylon when they were quite young. Now their stepfather has crossed over as well.
I'm most sorry, sir. There is no need for you bright gentlemen to console me. As it happens, it was well my stepfather died when he did, or I'd like to kill him. The newest member of our company, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Victor Grinstead. I surprise you, sir.
You shock me, unspeakably shock me.
You never saw him beat my sister. My stepfather was a brute, Mr. Jasper. In desperation, Helena tried on more than one occasion to free his cruel and miserly hand, even disguising herself as a boy. But to no avail. As for myself, I have had from my earliest remembrances to subdue a deadly and bitter hatred, which has made me secret and revengeful.
I say,
However, sir, your kindness and goodwill have deeply moved me. I pledge to change my ill-tempered ways and break new ground for myself.
there's the lad. He'll soon blend in, Mr. Jasper.
Your pupil, Mr. Jasper. She sings beautifully. Thank you. Your efforts have not been without success. I trust so, Mr. Landless. I may inquire if your relationship extends beyond that of pupil and master.
Oh, heavens no, Neville. Why, Miss Budd is betrothed to young Edwin Drood, Mr. Jasper's nephew.
You do well to cast your eyes and interests in other directions, sir. I beg your pardon, sir. No pardon necessary, sir. However, I must be off. Choir practice, I fear. I wish you well in your new life, Mr. Landless. Thank you. Thank you indeed, Mr. Jasper. I trust we shall meet again. And I should like to meet this Drood, and see what sort of man is worthy of the affections of Miss Budd.
Steady, lad, steady. Helena, Neville, come.
Better, aren't you?
Oh, much, thank you.
These surroundings, which may seem very secure to you, are new and unsettling to me. You will be afraid, won't you?
I would be as good a friend as such a mighty thing can be, to such a womanly and handsome creature as you.
Who is Mr. Jasper?
My Edwin's uncle, and my music master.
You know that he loves you.
Oh, don't! He terrifies me. I feel I am never safe from him.
I'm sure we'll have at least one reprise before we're finished. Don't you think? Why don't we have one now?
Feel the moon falls, I feel the night skies, bright eyes will burn me blindly. Pay no mind to me, unrest is already one of us will sometime wait to meet with love. Never knows but in love soon appears is of you, so that soon I
the chaste sanctity of the nun's house and travel, for reasons which will soon become clear, to the wickedest corner of the wickedest hole in the fabric of the city of London. Below the streets and beneath contempt lies the opium den of the Princess Cover. Here, the universal tongue of opium is spoken, with its sub-dialects of prostitution, burglary, violence for profit, and murder. And reigning supreme over this blemish on England's fair complexion is the Princess Cover, who ministrates to her client's needs and hears more than she tells. Portrayed this evening by that grand dame of the music hall royale, that queen mother of the Red Lights district, that good woman of ill repute, my very own beloved Miss Angela Priceoff.
Crime don't pay. That's what I tells them. If it did, would I be here mixing pipes? What then I sells them for a pint of rotten beer. Throat you cut to pocket throw-ins, then you sluts to cop some sleep. Bash your face for bleeding tuppence, pure disgrace to work so cheap. It's why I says, don't be a sinner for the price of London gin. You can't pay for one square dinner with the wages of a sin. Sell me soul, oh love, come off it. Who would buy this sack of skin? On the whole, there ain't much profit in the wages of a sin. In the wages of a sin. In the wages of a sin. Hey Jimmy, could you shine the light up here on the first box, dear? Hello, love. Fancy seeing you here 2 nights in a row. said to me, "What little slice of raspberry tart?" "Oh, do begging your pardon, miss, I'm sure. Is this your first time out on the town with him?" "Well, never you mind. I've had him on numerous occasions. And whatever he's got in store for you, praise God, it'll be over with in an instant." What do they pay you, love, by the note? I had him when he was 14, God love him. He's not had better since. He's not had any since. Oh, yes. I've seen girls from gutter families ply rich men with floppy ways. And they say, "Pill, pass the jam, please." Over nuptial breakfast trays. Over here in bed 11, sleeps up laden, a hypocrite. Spends his days, eyes cast to heaven. Spends his nights amongst this shit. I'm sorry.
Finish your song.
Well, where was I? Shit! Oh, yes. It's why I said, don't take half measure. Do things right and dig right in. In this world, there's greater treasure than the wages of sin. Oh, I get threats, but seldom offers. If I did, I'd pack it in. You can't fill too many coffers with the wages of sin. Well, come on. Give your love some help with the last line then, eh? Bloody hell! Now you can do better than that. Come on, get off your bums and give us the notes then.
The meanest room in London. And as the light of day steals into the room, would not the parishioners of Cloisterham be astounded to discover in bed 11 that would require us of Cloisterham Cathedral, Mr. John Jasper? Wine! I need more northern wine. My task is only half finished, and your medicine is less potent than usual.
Laudanum. So you mix an opium with wine these days. I'll get it for you.
Yes, before I can get to the changes of colours in the great landscapes, I must be rid of him!
Who?
Him!
God spare
recall what I said. Could you please direct me to the railway station? I seem to be lost.
5 and twopence you owes me.
That seems a large sum for a small courtesy. However, if you are that greedy. And the railway?
The nearest one is at Aldgate, 10 minutes walk away from the river.
I thank you. Incredible.
Who are you then? And what are you?
I wonder how many of you noticed that meaningful statement? That sounded suspiciously like a clue to me. Might we have that again, my dear? Yes, once more, please.
Who are you then? And what are you?
What indeed? Now the following day, and as we return to less sordid surroundings, we meet Cloisterham's leading citizen, Mayor Thomas Sapsey. Good afternoon, Mayor Sapsey. Really? With a sack of what? Oh, now that's unacceptable, isn't it? But you'll notice once again who gets saddled with... Ladies and gentlemen, your kind indulgence for a brief announcement. The part of Mayor Sapsey will not, I repeat, will not be portrayed this evening by Mr. James Hitchens, as is stated in your program. As many of you already know, Mr. Hitchens has tended to appear more frequently in the bar than up here on the front of the footlights. Therefore, it will come as no surprise to our regulars that Mr. Hitchens is once again massively indisposed. Due to injuries received while fighting for a lady's honor, apparently the lady wished to keep it. And so, his part will be taken this evening by your own humble chairman and obedient servant. But I refer, of course, I hope this last-minute substitution meets with your approval, because it's either that or we all go home. And I might add, it's more your luck than mine. Sapsey. Good afternoon, Mr. Crisparkle, and, these are my new charges from Ceylon, Mayor Sapsey. I am taking them to meet. In fact, here he is now. Thank you. Helena Neville, allow me to introduce young Edwin Drood.
Sir, I congratulate you on your good fortune.
Good fortune, sir.
Oh, yes, Rose. Our young man is soon to depart himself for your sake, Mr. Neville.
Stay long, Mr. Drood.
No, but much the same. Egypt.
Oh. To make your future, sir?
No, to ensure that Egypt has one. I shall shortly be taking over my family's engineering concern there, and I plan to pull off a miracle.
Pray, what miracle?
The Cairo Transverse, Mr. Landless. A thoroughfare for commerce and coach travel across the desert to Alexandria.
A monumental task, Mr. Drood.
Yes.
Yes, one wonders from where one will obtain, for example, the paving stones.
From the pyramids.
No!
Yes, my studies indicate that there's more than enough rock in the top half of the Great Pyramid alone.
This is English blasphemy! Is it not enough that you take a delicate brew of tea leaves and likewise improve it by pouring cow's milk into it?
Neville, please. Now, let's not raise our voices here.
I meant no offense, sir.
Hey.
And I did not mean my awkward ways to arouse such emotion. Or to ruffle your splendid feathers.
I'm sure Mr. Landless only feels passionately about his part of the world, Edwin. As long as he keeps his passions in check.
I fear I have not yet adapted myself to your restrained climate. Master Edwin. Miss Bob. Oh!
My uncle has already given me some account of your hot-blooded temperament and past, sir. I only hope you have let them go behind you.
Sail on by the Bengal Bay.
East of Jaipur,
West of Mandalay. Agra, Agra.
Sholapur and Kolhapur and
from the high street and the market hall.
It's all very well for you to speak of this distant view, but Rosa, what's planned for me is grander than sand and sea. This distance in my sights, where I set the world right, awaits me. It dominates me. It's perfectly fine for them to speak in their mind to them, but there's a road for me, waiting to see. This vision that's in my sight, see clean and bright in morning. Can't ignore me, I will soon see shaping souls when you watch in my hands and shake the very nature of the land.
by the Bengal Bay. East of Jaipur, west of Mandalay.
Warm are the winds of our golden isles.
How cool are their words and how cold their smiles. They wish us gone, we'll be back someday. Sail on, sail on, sail on. You see there, Sapsey, it's just as I've been saying. There is an instinctive rivalry here between my own dear boy and this Landless fellow. I fear his hot-blooded Eastern temperament.
Oh, I think you exaggerate the matter, Mr. Jasper. I will go mad!
Do you not realize there's more than one side, one face to all things in nature? Beneath Neville's tainted English accent and adopted English manner, there is a heathen Landless, a tribesman Landless, a half-blooded, half-bred, half-caste, would kill as easily as he would comb his sleek hair.
Come now, Mr. Jasper, this is quite extraordinary.
To the contrary, sir, nothing could be more ordinary. I myself suffer from this sort of duality on occasion. Sometimes I will forget things, and on my way back to fetch them, half expect to meet myself rounding a corner I've already turned.
And what about me? Having to be your chairman and play this Sapsey bloke at the same time? It's damn confusing. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I don't look good either way. I'm back doing a double act, and for less money.
Indeed, like our two-sided devil's Landless, I find that I am not myself these days. For all I know, I might be you. There's more than room enough for two inside my mind.
I am likewise in a haze of who I am from scene to scene. What's more, before I mean I'm in a bind.
Or is it I, or is it me?
And if I'm him, and if I'm me, each one of us might not agree on what to do.
And if I take opposing sides within myself and define what is right or wrong,
I can move along with you.
penny, one penny, twopenny, threepenny, turn to a shilling, quite like to a florin. Would you not fancy the currency foreign to find the significant sound of the coin? Fathers your uncle from pennies to guineas, the two-sided picture, the rule of exception. Would you not feel for the full of deception to find the significant signs of the coin? Odds or even heads or tails, it's high or low, black or white, or up or down, left or right, or night or day. Nature seldom ever fails to most obligingly provide an undisclosed tones inside to one's dismay. There's shadows in the shining moon. If there's a rose, there's a sword. Your good is dead as soon as born, and your is fire. But love's division is perfect. It seems to work one in reverse. If things are better, they'll be worse in just a while. Penny, one penny, halfpenny, threepenny, 12 to a shilling, quite that to a florin. And could you not fancy the currency foreign to find the significant size of the coin? Fathers your uncle from pennies to guineas, the two-sided picture, the rule of exception. And would you not feel with the full of deception to find the significant size of the coin? Penny, one penny, halfpenny, threepenny, 12 to a shilling, quite that to a florin. And could you not fancy the currency foreign to find the significant size of the coin? Fathers your uncle from pennies to guineas, the two-sided picture, the rule of exception.
Mr. Jasper. I have. I shall certainly keep my oh, what? Thank you. I shall certainly keep my eyes all right. I shall certainly keep my eyes carefully fixed on this Neville Landless.
Oh, brilliant and original idea there, Sapsey. But now I must change.
Oh.
Good day, sir.
Yes. We now step out from Cloisterham High Street and fall in step with a relic known only to the residents of Cloisterham as Durdles. A gentleman known only to whose knowledge of the cathedral tombs is exceeded only by his capacity for wine and spirits. He is wending his way toward an important assignation.
What's that you say, Bill?
An assignation with Mayor Thomas Sapsey, who lives just around behind.
What's that you say, Bill?
I said, around behind.
And so have you.
I didn't come here to be insulted.
What? Where do you usually go?
I am not a complete fool, you know.
Well, what's been missing?
Or next to an idiot.
How do you do?
Ladies and gentlemen, assaying the role of Durdles, the clown prince of the music hall royale, I give you, and I don't want him back, Mr. Nick Krieger and Son.
Good afternoon, your lordship, sir.
Good afternoon, Durdles.
A touch of tubatism.
No, you mean rheumatism.
No, sir, tubatism. I've been working on your dead wife's grave.
Please, refer to the late Mrs. Thomas Sapsey as just that, Durdles. The late Mrs. Thomas Sapsey. That is how I like to refer to her. Indeed, that is how I like to think of her. That woman was sent out to heaven as a punishment.
She was 1 in a million.
No, 1 in a raffle. But is my wife's tomb ready?
Oh, yes, Governor, and the door is all ready for my inscribing. Oh, she'll be much happier when we've moved her from her temporary grave. Though, it's not been at all that damp, and the moles won't have been able to get at her for ages. No, there's nothing much you can do about the worms. I mean, they've already made a meal of Mrs. Sapsey, no matter what.
Quite enough, Durdles. And who is this Say, this boy?
Yes, my coachee, Squire. The name of deputy.
I put the lock on your wife's crypt myself, your lordship.
Well, there's a good boy.
Oh, that's right. And I've got the key. Right, sir. And it'll be my pleasure to unlock that door and to slide your old woman right in there tomorrow. As a matter for all the royal family.
Yes.
Why, that crypt is a national treasure. If I may make so bold, your grace. Why, just a while ago, Mr. Jasper asked if I'd take him down into that crypt to see it.
You might like to add that line to your list of suspicious statements.
Steady on, Bill. We don't want all these fine people leaping to conclusions without all the facts at hand. Otherwise, they all might be running off to the races.
Right! Let's have a chorus of off to the races!
That's not scheduled until later on in the program. We mustn't stop the dramatic momentum we are building here. Now, clear off. Clear off.
They gave us the bloody cue.
For now. For now, we must descend into the darkness to shed light on the mystery as we follow Durban's deputy to the graveyard of Cloisterham Cathedral.
Asylum, Mr. Jasper.
Peculiar lad.
Laid on his infectious youth, sir. But who? That was excellent wine you gave me, Mr. Jasper. More potent than I'm accustomed. Did you get a look inside Mrs. Sapsey's tomb while I was asleep?
No, I seem to have got lost.
Well, I was lost myself. In a fitful dream, Mr. Jasper. I imagined someone touched me. I took something from me. And here's what it was. My Sapsey would not believe in the mausoleum keys lying out in front of his wife's crypt. He gave me strict instructions. And those keys. And now the key to her tomb is missing. What do you think, Mr. Jasper?
I think that I have guests due at any moment for Christmas dinner. And the poor host are not to offer them all the comfort and joy of the season. A happy Christmas to you, Durban.
And God rest ye merry, Mr. John Jasper.
Spent many a bright and chatting afternoon here among these silent tombs. My own betrothed. No, Rosa, we are not legally bound to marriage.
Then, Lady dearest, let us change to brother and sister this day forward.
Yes, husband and wife.
Yes.
I am honor bound to confess best that this thought does not originate with you alone, Rose.
I know, dear one. You've not been truly happy with our engagement, nor have I.
I'm sorry, Rose.
And I for you.
Poor boy. If only our marriage had not been assured since birth, well, then perhaps we'd know how we truly feel towards each other.
If we were perfect strangers, how perfect life would be.
I'd know if I adore you, you'd know if you loved me. Too much we've sinned together to judge the new.
Too much we've been together,
And I assumed the future,
and I presumed that you were there.
If we were perfect strangers, I'd find my way with ease. I'd see the pond before me, the forest from the trees. Could life be real without you? You're always there.
How do I feel about you?
I care
Near to touch you,
my dear.
Ned, how much you mean to me, how much you mean. Brother,
Sister,
I pray you would take this clasp left me by my mother as a vow of my eternal friendship. God bless you.
God bless you, dear.
How do I feel about you?
I care.
Near to touch you, my dear Ned, how much you mean to me, how much you mean to me.
If we've been perfect strangers, I might have loved you This will all come as a terrible blow to my uncle. Whatever's the matter?
Could we keep our change of plans for Mr. Jasper for a while, Eddie?
Yes, of course, you're right. Why give him such sad news on Christmas Eve? But now we must be off. He's expecting us for dinner, and I fear there's a storm brewing.
What a bizarre climate you have here in Cloisterroom! First snow, now he's threatening storm. The gods must be angry.
Oh, God must be angry, Neville, not gods. We use the word singularly in England.
Storm for Christmas Eve.
Yes, it was like this the night Rosa's mother died.
Neville tells me we were once engaged to Rosa's mother, Mr. Crisparco.
Oh, yes, but I fear I was a bit too Anglican, a bit too angular for her taste. And then, at a seaside party celebrating her second anniversary, only a few months after Rosa was born, she apparently slipped while walking unobserved along the cliffs and drowned in the embrace of the ungrateful waves. Let us follow Mr. Jasper's lead and forget our grievances with life and each other over a sturdy Christmas dinner.
Ah! I pray you will forgive the meager manners of my humble table.
Hello, all. Sorry for late. We fought the storm the whole way over here.
Miss Bond, it is wondrous to see you again. Let me take your things.
I had no idea you'd taken on domestic staff, Uncle. Edwin! Mr. Mr. Landless will take you seriously.
No fear of that.
Now, lads, rose up. You have no idea what it means to have you in my chambers.
Miss Bond, how is it that in a season of holly, you remind me of the flowering hibiscus?
And how is it that you remind me of an inconsistent baker, Neville? For while your metaphors seem quite stale, your manners are uncommonly fresh.
You go too far, sir!
It's Christmas Eve and I will tolerate no further unchristian-like behavior between you. Now, this mulled wine is very good stuff indeed. I prepared it specially for you. From a recipe I obtained on a recent trip to London.
Well, any port in a storm for me, Uncle.
Oh, yes, Edwin, that's very good.
Any port in a storm.
Oh, none for me, thanks.
Now, let us drink deep.
This wine is more potent than usual, Jack.
Yes, well, I thought you lads might enjoy it. Now, let there be no more ill will between you.
Please, Edwin. There's no longer any cause for rivalry between us, Neville. You have my friendship, if you wish it.
Then a Merry Christmas to you, Edwin.
The goose is cooked.
Miss Bond, I think your next Christmas dinner will be in Egypt.
My God, Landless! Perhaps you should accompany us to Cairo. I'm sure Rosa and I could use someone to carry our bags. Someone better acquainted with a foreign tongue than he is minding his own.
Gentlemen, ladies, please be seated.
Sir, I don't much like your toilette. Faciliously, you wear clean, you wear a fine and cut that line up, but her waistcoat will get to be torn to faggots till magnets feed on you.
Something in this speech seems ominous to me.
We're not overrich, pray promise this to me.
Praise to him on high, for this we should be glad.
Won't you try some wine? No, my dear's nephew Ned, I wish to wish you well. The world is yours before you, just like oysters on a shell.
Landless as you are, it's known your blood is hot, but less than pure. Less I'm sure that your history would indicate the past of somehow cast from free of age. Your crudeness thus explains. Something sends a chill like feet upon my brain.
Like that strength and will completely never save.
From these words they say, bring harm upon the land. Night was followed day. My dearest, deepest friends, may I propose a toast to Rosa and Edwin Drood, Leech here.
And here's the roast.
How very blessed are we, when oh so many starve. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Which one of you will call?
Lances cut like blade through bone with daggers drawn like glare at you. Then at you who dare presume to stare at who might be my wife and share my life. I'd see you dead before sweet Rosa wed.
Fate waits near, I feel it, I fear it. We are friends in yet, and not soon forget. Hearing never threat, every epithet.
In younger days I hungered for another, Rosa's mother. After Rosa's birth she left this earth, now just as all I'm worth.
So long as they thought that I meant rest and all quite naive. But I perceive these voices, noise, thoughts, lightning that they might conceive.
Traditions vividly revealed, murderous ambitions otherwise concealed. Learning like this, will see you
What a storm for Christmas Eve! I must stroll down to the River Weir to see this fit of nature unchecked. Will you excuse me, Uncle?
Of course. I will join you on your walk.
And we must retire to the nun's house before the storm. Good night, Edwin. Good night, everyone.
Rosa, how you doing? And I shall see the ladies safely home.
Will you join us, Uncle?
No, Edwin. I have plans I must execute. But I will not let you go in this flimsy cape. You shall wear my own humble but serviceable overcoat. Come, Edwin! Your destiny calls!
Goodbye, all!
When shall these three meet again? When, if ever? But it is now late the following day. Christmas Day, to be sure. The storm is over, but in its wake there is to be found no trace of young Edwin Drood.
Mr. Crisparkle! Oh, Reverend, I know something terrible has happened to Edwin.
Oh, now let us wait until my assistant Buzzard reports. You have heard, I'm certain, the sentiment voiced that no news is most certainly good news. Ah, and here he is now. Buzzard, what news?
No news, sir!
There, you see. I don't believe you've met my assistant Buzzard. Although he has aspirations as an author, his chief occupation is in guiding excursion parties around our church. Quite the showman is our Buzzard.
I love the theatrical world, but there are many stages beyond the proscenium. I long to play a larger part.
Then, Buzzard, use your enviable creativity to find some accounting for our young Ned.
That assignment I eagerly accept.
Oh, my dear hopeless Edwin.
How like her mother she looks. Had the Lord seen fit to smile upon me, had her mother not married another nor met her death 2 years later at that pleasure party by the sea, I might have been Rosa's.
Father, I need your prayer.
Rise, my child. The cathedral bell summons us.
And is it not significant, Mayor Sapsey, that Neville Landless was last seen fleeing the district?
You have convinced me, Mr. Jasper. A secret murderer could indeed be hiding in Cloisterham's most affectionate bosom, and all signs do point to young Neville Landless. I shall instruct a few strong fellows to bring him here, using whatever force necessary, so that we may question him.
We'll find Neville Landless right enough now.
And when we find him, we'll have to kick the murderous swine. Yes, but Danielle, we'll have a hanging for Christmas. Fetch the door!
Oh, Mr. Jasper, look what I've discovered.
Why, it's my coat! The one I gave Edwin last night! And it's been torn to ribbons and blood! Oh, God! There's just blood on it! Where did you find this?
Under a rock by the River Weir.
My dear boy's been murdered! I take this oath before you, bastard! Record it in your memory that I shall fasten the crime of murder upon the murderer, and I shall devote myself to his destruction!
I shall remember your words, Mr. John Jasper.
And I believe that's it for you this evening, Philip.
Yes, that's right, Will.
I mean, it hardly seems worth your while coming all this way from Knutsford each night, does it? Now, how much do I owe you? Let's see, that's 1 and 6, wasn't it? And what about my commission? You seem to specialize in these narrow parts of late.
Oh, not by choice, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, now let's see. In Julius Caesar, you played the part of...
a senator. Speak hands for me. Stab.
So, at least you were in for the kill. But you know, if you come to think of it, it's really rather odd that Charles Dickens created your character at all. Unless, of course, he had a more promising future in mind for you.
But it's been me solace in the role, sir.
Yes, I'm sure. Still, you do understudy Mr. Paget as John Jasper, I note. Now, surely one of these days he'll...
No, in actuality, sir, Mr. Paget claims never to have missed a performance in his entire career.
Ah. Philip, we're almost done with this act, and our second act is considerably shorter in length than our first. Is there... well, would you have a song ready at hand? Shall we, ladies and gentlemen?
As a matter of fact, sir, I do have in common with me role this evening aspirations as an author, and I've composed a brief song which I venture to say underscores the dilemma that I share with the character of Master I portray. I hesitate to say that.
It's titled, Mr. Bax.
Never the Luck, sir.
Just do that bit. Ladies and gentlemen, an unscheduled, or for the Americans in the audience, an unscheduled diversion in our journey this evening. The debut of an unpublished, and perhaps rightfully unheard composition. Mr. Philip Bax singing his very own Never the Luck.
Never the luck, and never the lead, and never you mind, they say. In time we'll taste the lime in the light, and I'll have me night someday. Still, each precious part seems over and done before I've begun to speak. I cast out my line and keep me handing, but I'll not stand in this week. Some starless night, but they'll call towards the wings. Who here dances and sings? That's when yours truly springs and sing me. Then they'll cry, why? He knows each line and everyone's cue. We must let him do the part. I'll be sent to stage, the music will play, I'll waltz my way into your heart.
In his company, and he is nowhere to be found.
Sapsey, you left for the river with Edwin Drood at what time?
In all honesty, I cannot recall anything of what transpired once Edwin and I reached the river.
And what are these bloodstains upon your shirt front and upon your war walking stick, Mr. Landless?
I acquired these bloodstains, sir, just now! No! Were these men of yours dragged me forcibly from the countryside where I had been walking?
You're Landless. As acting constable of the district, I am placing you under arrest.
Neville! Oh! How many of them did it take to mar you in this way?
8.
You have a very interesting way with the law here in Cloisterham, Mr. Sapsey. And you, Mr. Jasper. For days now you have been warning all Cloisterham of impending violence between your nephew and my brother. What do you know of all this?
Only that my nephew is dead. Now, Sapsey, I warrant that young Neville has no knowledge of Master Drood beyond that which he has freely volunteered.
You shall volunteer nothing further, Neville.
I would remind you and your brother that there is the issue of murder at hand.
Before you utter that word again, you laughable man, perhaps you would supply a victim, a body, a corpse, something more tangible than an errant nephew, a timorous uncle, and elude the city official who has no backing for his charges beyond pure pomp and sheer circumstance.
Here!
Well said, Helena.
She's right, Mayor Sapsey. Without Edwin's body, you cannot possibly arrest young Master Neville. Oh? Well, very well. Release him.
Oh, bless you, Mr. Crisparkle.
Oh, I am overpaid.
I only wish I could express my gratitude without the strange, somewhat geographically untraceable accent.
Yes, well, let's all pause for a moment, shall we? So here is where matters now stand. Young Edwin Drood has vanished, and may likely be...
Dead. John Jasper has sworn vengeance upon his nephew's murderer.
Who most of his populace believe to be Neville Landless.
But the charges against Neville have been rescinded, thanks to Helena Landless's steely resolve and the support of the kindly.
Reverend Mr. Crisparkle, who once was engaged to...
Rose is deceased, Mom. Meanwhile, it's difficult to know what one should make of...
And Rupert's stonemason Durdles,
and his young apprentice deputy.
Not to mention
the mysteriously motivated purveyor of opium, the Princess Puffer.
Statements to consider during the interval, with one admonition. Should you leap to conclusions without all the relevant information, you may all find that you are carried off to the races.
Yes, Bill, let's have a chorus of off to the races.
A spontaneous request! Which brings us, rather adroitly, I think, to a song. For what evening at the Music Hall Royale would be complete without a rendition of its trademark anthem, Off to the Races! Quick conclusions often lead the best of us astray.
the wisest move in life is just to wait.
Otherwise, our galloping emotions run away like horses at the gate. Off to the races, off to the races, off to the race we go. But where the chase is and what the pace is, we seldom seem to know.
Men with broken hearts have vowed to never more listen. A member of the soft and
Take a race
from the anchor to the ground, they suddenly will do.
out there and race. Then, off to the races, off to the races, where flirty faces roll. I say the graces, so good places, beneath for love at all. Don't fall back on your assumptions, hasty presumptions, minds do we win. Mind unstacked like an egg running blind, time lagging behind, will find who's in. Less we've been victorious, she's had 9 kids to date. You wonder how Prince Albert got infused. Probably by her decree he had to procreate, said she.
Make me amused.
Off to the races, the royal races, the same as long overdue.
When she embraces the royal graces, the same in one says you.
Latest and most ingenious work, Hamlet, Part 2. We are, I trust, rested, relaxed, restored, renewed, and more than ready to conclude what is certainly the most ambitious endeavor today, the music hall royale, that of solving, by your vote, shortly to be counted, the mystery of Edwin Drood. 6 months have passed. An English summer is in progress. Still, there is to be found no trace of young Edwin Drood. And all Cloisterham is agog with rumor and vision. But there are further developments. 2 inspiring sleuths are about to appear on the scene. One being the Princess Papa, whom you've already met. And the other being a detective, a man of mystery who wears a bulky coat, a fulsome beard, and the name of Dick Datchery. I say Dick Datchery. These apparent strangers approach with grand intentions and great expectations, which I might add we shall be presenting in Brighton next season. And like ourselves, Dick Datchery and the Princess Papa are just now arriving at Cloisterham Station. None are more intensely curious than these 2 sleuths.
I'm on the track of a man in black. He disappeared before the smoke cleared.
On the scent of a resident, I'll check them well, inspect the personnel. I'm led upon a doubtful chase.
Who's dead or gone without a trace?
This is a private investigation. Just when it's really hot and where our art is destination. It's a private investigation. It's vanished into air, vanished where it all creates.
On the trail of a small detail, I drew a bead upon a clue I knew.
Navigate as me over mate. Incognito, into the fog we go. I'm not a man of any means.
I'll search and scan behind the scenes.
This is a private investigation. Just when it's really hot and where our art is destination. It's a private investigation. I'll turn this driving club into a public situation. It's a private investigation. Just when it's really
beautiful tonight, don't you think? Oh, yes, as if the stars were mere punctures in the ceiling of Earth through which heaven's light can be seen. Well, or something along those lines. I only wish that my assistant Buzzard, who is away on business, could be here to see such a night as this.
Hold on there, boy. Here's a face we've not seen before. Welcome to Fair Oysterham. Captain, I'm in the way of being an official greeter to all visitors who might happen to have the price of a bottle of wine on them. The name is Drood.
My name is Datchery, Dick Datchery, and I was wondering if lodgings could be found in these parts.
Oh, no doubt, Mr. Datchery.
Something architectural and out of the way, inconvenient.
We have any number of inconvenient lodgings here in Oysterham, sir.
Close to the cathedral as well.
Excuse me, sir. I couldn't tell overhearing. The only such accommodation I know of along those lines is a single lodging just above the rooms of Mr. John Jasper. He is a great admirer of ours.
Is this the fellow who's been much afflicted by the loss of his nephew, Edwin Drood?
Here, boy. This much afflicted fellow, John Jasper, is he always dressed in mourning these days?
That's the man, and you won't catch me going near him again.
Now why is that, boy?
'Cause I ain't gonna be lifted off my legs and choked again.
That looks interesting. I shall enjoy watching the comings and goings of this town.
That man should speak to his tailor.
Oh, hey, miss, could you tell me where Mr. John...
Are you ill?
No, miss. I'm always like this.
Rosa, we both have been guilty of neglecting your music lessons. When shall we resume?
Never, sir.
Have I been politely told that you have abandoned your studies altogether?
The politeness is yours, not mine. I beg not be questioned. I will not answer anymore. At least I have that in my power.
Rosa,
I do not wish to hear you, sir.
I do not forget how many eyes command a view of us. But you shall hear me, even against your wishes, dearest Rosa, charming Rosa. Even when my dear boy was engaged to you, I loved you madly. I hid my secret loyalty, did I not?
You were as false to him so daily and hourly as you are now. You know you made me afraid to open his kind eyes to the truth. That you are a bad man.
How beautiful you are! Even more beautiful in anger than repose. I don't ask for your love, just give me yourself and your hatred. Pretty rage, that enchanting scorn, it will be enough for me. I'm sweet witch, red charmer. You must stay or do more harm than can be undone.
You're mad!
I mean to show you how mad my love is.
No! You dare to use that word! Love is but a word and more than fear from Pasta's green, where it was rarely said or seen or seldom sung. Innocent enough, it was intended to be used on rare occasions, unabused by every tongue. Rarely has a word been ever taken so in vain, what little meaning might remain is quickly blurred. Never has there been so quite exhausted such a term. Your silent syllables confirmed our brain this word. You call it love. I call it rude.
You call it rude.
I call it love.
You make me jealous. How could you cruel?
I call it cruel.
And I cruel.
I cannot bear it.
I don't dare to call it love.
I think it's foul. I think it's vile.
You see me smile?
Or I'll take
But you will break.
a cutting knife.
Denial.
You're worse than bad.
My words are mad.
You live too soon.
I live in the name of love.
Rosebud, the dainty little face whose every curl confirms that she's the child of girl in need of fight. Rosa is the only soul inclined that I've seen who sets us just the sort of dreams you dream at night. Did you think your stare would stop my seeing every fibre of my being told me since I was betrothed? That your most unnatural attention conjures words I dare not mention. You must know how much I loathe to know your voice.
You know my voice.
You
What blazing man?
Not for me.
To desecrate.
You don't pay the name of law.
The name of law.
The name of law.
Well, I just overheard something. And it's one of the very bits of information I came here for.
So, you believe in cloister hell already then?
Not bloody likely. I've not come this far to turn away, but with one piece of the puzzle in my hand, I've never in my whole wretched life been this close to getting anything I set about after. Or the fool I'd be to quit just when I'm winning. I've never understood those in life who ease up just when they should be pressing on. Once I bet my last 10 pence and won. Twice as rich then, friends said, call it done. How sad, I said. So that's your wildest dream, eh then? 20 pence instead of 10. I doubled up me bet again. In life you start the same as when you're done. If you lose, you're back where you've begun. If you've won, don't quit while you're ahead. Just press your blessed luck instead.
Don't try to think what might be the best. Use the heart that beats within your breast. Never rest. Don't quit while you're ahead. Sing out, there's more in store for me.
I see my dream ship finally coming in like a steamship, anchoring into wind.
Lift your chin, remember what I said. Don't quit while you're ahead. Let go.
in our story that Mr. Charles Dickens laid down his pen forever. And so, dear friend, this is all we shall ever know for sure about the mystery of Edwin Drood. Tonight, however, at least within the confines of this humble theatre, we shall together solve, resolve, and conclude the mystery of Edwin Drood. One minor mystery we can resolve immediately, though it has little to do with the plot at hand. You see, most literary experts agree that our inquiring detective, Mr. Dick Datchery, is actually someone we've already met. A character from Act 1 who was roaming Cloisterham disguised as Datchery so as to better investigate the disappearance of Edwin Drood. And as many of you have no doubt already guessed, the part of Datchery has been taken thus far this evening by that master and mistress of male impersonation, Miss Alice Nutting. But this does not mean that Edwin Drood is Datchery. Oh no, far from it. You see, the reason for Miss Nutting's portrayal of Datchery this evening is that she was contracted to appear in 2 acts of our play. And our management believes in an honest week's work and an honest day's pay. That's my friend. Talk about Scrooge. I'll be playing him next week. Which brings us to our first key question. Is Edwin Drood dead or alive? Now, Mr. Charles Dickens experimented with many different titles for our story. For example,
The Loss of Edwin Drood.
The Flight of Edwin Drood.
The Disappearance of Edwin Drood, but nowhere the death or murder of Edwin Drood. On the other hand, many would say that a mystery without a murder is no mystery at all. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our questions shall be answered primarily by you, but in a daring and perhaps dangerously democratic move. The Music Hall Royale has decided to grant our company themselves the right to vote on 1 issue each night. My fellow acolytes of the thespian persuasion, tonight your question shall be...
Is Edwin Drood dead or alive? Miss Nutting, who has a vested interest in the outcome, kindly turn her back to the cat. Ladies and gentlemen, as with patient proceeding, all those who believe Edwin Drood is dead, please raise your hands. Thank you. And all those who believe Edwin Drood is alive, please do the same now.
Miss Nutting, I'm sorry, but you've snuffed it. By a massive majority, I fear. And our next key question, Mr. Throttle.
Who is the detective Dick Datchery?
Well, we can now safely eliminate Edwin Drood from that consideration, since our company has voted him dead for the remainder of the evening.
Dead? Ha and bloody ha ha! You absolute envious little shits! It is obvious to everyone here that I am Datchery, and it's even more transparent that this petty jealous cast bitterly resents the attention I've received in the local press.
Miss Nutting!
By all...
Miss Nutting! Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea. She's been like this ever since we got here. First her dressing room was too small, and then her beard was too long. When I told her she was splitting hairs...
Get back to the story, dear.
I must apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for this bit of unpleasantry in what I am sure you will agree has been an otherwise flawless evening. But in all fairness to our company and to our story, I must strenuously point out that many literary experts disagree with Miss Nutting's contention that Edwin Drood and Dick Datchery are one and the same person. Indeed, there are several prime candidates for the place behind Datchery's beard. For instance, I offer you Miss Helena Landless. Now about her, Neville revealed in Act 1.
In desperation, Helena tried on more than one occasion to flee our stepfather's cruel and miserly hand, even disguising herself as a boy.
Itch! A palpable itch. But is it a meaningful thrust or misdirection? Now, wouldn't Hannah Landless be fearful of pursuing John Jasper under the given circumstances?
Not under any.
But our candidates hardly end there. What say you of Basil?
I love the theatrical world, but there are many stages beyond the proscenium. I long to play a larger part.
Who more likely to don such melodramatic garb and seek the spotlight? Why otherwise does he appear in our story at all?
From my earliest remembrances, I've been secret and revengeful.
Who more likely to investigate the disappearance of Edwin Drood than he who is most suspected of foul play? Or did someone else wish to clear Neville's name? Neville has been entrusted to my care, the Reverend Mr. Chris Barr, whose passions and energy lay hidden beneath his clerical garb. Perhaps he has adopted yet another uniform, that of Datchery, to save the lad who has been his charge and responsibility. And then there is the puzzle and intriguing possibility of Rosa.
Rosa!
Could it be that we have underestimated this woman-child? Could it be that she has taken it upon herself to investigate the disappearance of Edwin Drood?
I beg not be questioned. I will not answer anymore. At least I have that in my power.
Looks can be deceiving.
I say.
This much I do know for certain. Datchery is not John Jasper, the Princess Puffer, Derwent, Deputy, or even Mayor Sapsey. For in our play, as in Mr. Dickens' novel, they appear in scenes with him. They are observed to be in his company. And so we are left with the remaining candidates for the part of Datchery. And may I suggest that we vote the way it is done in amateur theatrical contests? As the handkerchief is held above the head of each candidate, roll for your own favourite in the part of Datchery. And do remember, there are larger decisions still to come. Soon we shall be asking you to decide who is the murderer of Edwin Drood. So don't merely vote for whichever cast member is a distant cousin of yours, for God's sake. Mr. Throttle, if you please.
The underrated Mr. Bassett. The hard-hitting Neville Landless. The tempestuous Hannah Landless. The angelic Miss Rosa Butt. The ecstatic ecclesiastic Reverend Chris Bartle.
Very good. Bassett shall be your Datchery for tonight. First, make a few change of costumes. Oh, I can see several ladies in the audience who'll be more than ready to assist you in the process. Just kidding. Which brings us to a much more serious matter, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to know which one you little shits killed half my bird.
This nothing! Ladies and gentlemen, such appalling behavior is due entirely to her upbringing. Her parents were in the iron and steel industry. Mother irons, father steels. She tap dances on her right leg and toe dances on her left. And between the two, she makes a living! She's what is known as an orthopedic soprano. She sings in all the joints! She sings in a pub called the Cock and Company. Not much comfort, but plenty of... Oh, is that the kind of audience you are? You know, she sings a song entitled, Please Don't Ring the Church Bell. The vicar's got the clapper! Which brings us to a much more serious matter. For now, ladies and gentlemen, as in all great mystery stories, we must find ourselves a killer, a culprit, a thief. In short, the murderer of the dear, departed, vanished, vanquished, late, lamented, title character of our play, Edwin Drood. Who killed Edwin Drood? Who shall be our murderer tonight? Now, first for your consideration, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the most obvious candidate for the part, Mr. Clive Paget as John Jasper. Now I ask you, is this the face of a murderer? Yes. He's a good egg. You all know where eggs come from. Yes, but more appropriately, I ask you, could this be all there is to the mystery of Edwin Drood?
Yes.
As John Jasper, the obvious villain of the piece, did indeed kill his nephew, Edwin Drood, in a hopeless attempt to win the love of the fair Miss Rosa Bunce.
Yes.
Well, where then the mystery? It's taking the wind out of your sails, big mouth. Where then the mystery? Where indeed? So how stand you, ladies and gentlemen? For the obvious answer, or for a more perplexing solution? Now, one cast member can be safely eliminated from the film. My own Mayor Sapsey role was without question intended for comic relief.
The shame didn't bloody well give us any.
In any event, Mayor Sapsey never figures very intimately in the lives of the other characters, and so we are left with the remaining characters for the part of murderer.
Journals! I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than give you the frontal lobotomy.
Helena, Landless, did I, in trying to save my brother, bring harm to Edwin Drood?
Rosa, why would anyone as pure and as innocent as myself murder my own true net?
Never Landless. In all honesty, I cannot recall anything of what transpired once Edwin and I reached the river. Deputy, now why would I want to kill Edwin Drood? I never even had a scene with him.
The Princess Puffer. Who am I? And what am I?
The Reverend Mr. Crisparkle, have I in some way confused my mission here on Earth?
John Jasper, I have stood in the cold light of suspicion since this play began.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, time at last to decide. And may I suggest, for the sake of accuracy, that we vote by a show of hands. So if you bring up the house lights, we'll begin. Is this what I've been dealing with all night? Why don't you all join hands and try contacting the living? No matter. Let's proceed post-haste with the voting. Members of our company are even now circulating among you to count your vital votes.
Hello, Fiona.
now offer a sip of port to your chosen fiend, so that he or she may know your verdict. And, ladies and gentlemen, so that the final denouement may come as a complete surprise, for the next few moments I strenuously request that you close your eyes. Fred, close your eyes then, now.
Close your eyes.
I am offering the port. We could be here for a very long time. I am offering the port. The murderer is drinking it. Right, you may all open your eyes now. You see, you can't trust anyone here tonight. And as our company departs backstage, where even now your votes are being counted, I only caution you to prepare yourselves for a few unexpected twists and turns as we serpentine our way toward the conclusion that you have chosen for us tonight. And so, dear friends of the Music Hall Royale, for the first time and at long last, by your determination, the conclusion, no, the finale of the mystery of Edwin Drood. Now, the first chapter of Mr. Dickens' novel was entitled The Door. Perhaps not coincidentally, the last chapter he wrote was called The Door again. So, by all means, let us begin our last chapter amid the rosy tendrils of an English door.
Oh, it's bloody freezing out here. Oh, here, miss. What is it? Can you spare 3 and 6pence for a Christian soul in distress?
We're both Christian souls in distress, I fear. And I have little more than 3 and 6 to get me to London.
Running away from something?
Yes. At long last, yes. And I must be going.
Rosa!
How on earth could you know my name?
No. I've only known you since the day you were born. Only bathed and fed you. Don't look at me, Rosa. I don't want you to see me like this. But can you remember your nan some 12 years ago? Will you look at me now, my own darling girl, and see your nan instead?
No. Somewhere. I was 6. And then she wasn't there anymore.
Oh, God love you. You do remember? You never saw much of your real mum, did you? I was the closest thing to that for you. You look just like she did. Oh, she died.
Why did you leave me?
It's a sad story, but a common one, I fear. I was once your nan, then I met a man, tall and all with golden hair, is where my end began. I let him have his way with me, he knew his way so well. Led me down the garden path to hell. Marriage in me head, what I got instead was a bed in Camden Town, and then to me he said, if I sends around a friend, be nice to him this swell. Stroll him down your garden path to hell. Make your bed of roses and sleep in it. Cuddle deep in it and pray you never wed. Soon the deadly poppies come cropping up, fairly popping from the seeds of one mistake.
on me back all day, earning Satan's pay. I took to drink so's not to think of who'd come next to play. I gave my gent my every cent, and he gave me farewell, leaving me to weed the path to hell. Life's a maze of hedges that prickle you, as they tickle you, they tear you all apart. Strolling through the maze, it's amusing too, but confusing when you find there's no way out. I lost my looks by then, couldn't draw the men, and so I learned to trade and earn my keep with drugs, and then I found myself a wicked shelf where opium I sells. Here's a pipe for you, sir. Price is 5 and 2, sir. Can't you see the garden? It's such a lovely garden. I'll take you there, I know the path so well. To hell. Ashamed you went through life alone, and yet despite my dreadful fall from grace, I never once forgot your name or face. One icy evening a client of mine began to rave and crave some laudanum wine, and as he drank his cup of Satan's blood, he made the great mistake of crying, like me, to mix and mingle with the likes of he. We're all made from God's most lowly clay and mud. But how comes this man to proud Rosard? Well, I can't see too clear, but I followed him here, and I found out who was who, and was meant to marry you. Then quite sudden I see someone else who follows me, so I follow his tracks to his lodgings in the back, and I hate to confess, while I watched this man undress, then I saw a sudden rise in an out of bold disguise, and the job took theatrics, and no fear of hazard. Is Bassett.
Yes, it is I gladly reveal my joy in telling all I cannot conceal. Author am I, at least of this page. Joyfully now I take center stage. My motive in taking this part was to hone even further my art. My theatrical bent and a costume is lent, let me strive for what's dear to my heart. There's a chance for some public acclaim, the shred of a second of fame. As a playwright, a plot to unravel should not pose a problem much harder to tame. This was my greatest audition. 2 decent roles at one time. Finally, some recognition. Staging a scene of the crime. Going out on a limerick, out on a limerick, out on a limerick. Found the theatrical kit, and as dashiery I did my bit. So to clear devil's name, I confess to my shame, was my vanity too, I admit. I followed till Jasper high-low. From the dens he descends to below. And when Puffer came here, 'twas immediately clear my suspicions were quite apropos. So I crept in the lodgings of Jasper. To rest in this wig, what a sight! There I found Rosebud's flax. Her mother's she gave Drood that night. Jasper took him from Ned after hurling him dead in the weary affair, I suppose. Tell him the Gatchery knows. And the proof is quite clear. Let us bring Jasper here to be tried in the kind of his son. And from this limerick, let him be hung!
I will not lie, I wished Ned to die, twice dead am A man can split in twain, yet to all eyes remain. A soul genteel can conceal the venom in his brain. But if he draws upon the fault in madness, and gives no surprise, why this great surprise? There are two men in me, and cunning bright is he, who hides himself, besides himself, while I've no eyes to see. But now I think he's out of the window, take him to the door. He's in, I'm out, he's out, he's free, I'm free, I'm free once more. Many times I've killed that Drood upon my flights. My flight that burst the smug presumption of his rights. His rights is there, his rights to share my rooms as bed. It took no smoke for me to picture Edwin dead. And now I poured myself a flask of laudanum, and then to toast my Ned and devil I drank some. That's when my greatest flight of fancy did take place. My hands outstretched towards Edwin's pale white face, and in the moonfall I saw my fingers clutching his neck so tightly, touching my sleeve, he felt so nicely. But God, the deed was much too easily done. As much as over once it had begun, such tragedy to find me made the kill, and not to awake to taste the thrill.
That young Drood wore that night, down by her everywhere, to throw suspicion on Neville Landless. You're a bad one, Jasper, when the evil one is inside you. But you're not the murderer. You didn't kill Edwin Drood.
Don't! Let me understand. Are you saying that John Jasper did not kill his nephew?
Exactly! Your lordship, sir. It was a wild night, that Christmas Eve, as you remember, Squire, and I sought shelter near Jasper's door. That's what I saw. One amongst you throttle Edwin Drood, and in a convenient flash of lightning, I saw who it was. That was quite a speech, Bill. Like I had to report. Suddenly, I sees Mr. Jasper stagger out of his own home under the influence of potent medicine. And suddenly, he collapses. And then he gets back up. And then he picks up Edwin's body and carries him into the cathedral and then down into that crypt, depositing the body depositing the book. Right to Mrs. Sapsey's too.
What?
Yes, well, I told you there was plenty of room in there.
Yeah, but now, you must tell us, Durdles, who did it? Yes.
Lord love me. It was Rosalind.
You so blind could not see I killed him, yes! And it was horrible to do, I do confess. To have it done to do him in to see it. You surely know by now I meant to murder you! Thought you I was so blind as not to know your mind, of what intent each compliment you claim me meant as kind, to feel myself unrobed and probed with every movement of your eyes. Oh, unrealized, the child can go quite mad, not no good from that, and calmly plan to kill a man and feel redounding glad, to rid herself to make herself a murderous divine, not feeling all my thoughts, but you, I meant for you to die! But the night was far from bright, thick with wet and thunder. Thatching fell dispatched from hell is a gem of wonder. Could not see the arms of me stretched out, sword in hand. Saw your coat and tied their throat, just like the deadly wedding band. So long a time they thought that I was dressed and all quite naive, but I can see these boys and noise more frightening than they might conceive. With these late visions I have now revealed murderous admissions hitherto concealed. Damn you all, I say, you let him drive me mad. Mad to put to this
Surely we are entitled to a happy ending. We all have need in our lives for love, romance, or at this hour of the night, any reasonable facsimile thereof. And so there remains yet another issue for you to resolve, ladies and gentlemen. Which two in our story shall find that commodity that we all seek? Who shall be our lovers tonight? Now, on the distaff side, we have the tempestuous Helena and Landless and the serviceable Princess Copper. Now, which of these ladies would you most like to see united in love with one of our remaining male leads? Pray, indicate by your applause. Wise choice. We have a field of well-heeled bachelors available, gentlemen. All right, then. John Jasper. Durdles. Bassett. Young deputy. Neville Landless. And the Reverend Christopher. Now that's your choice. Gentlemen, please, if you will. It seems we're about to have a love song.
Dear Reverend, won't you help a poor sinner who wants to repent? I prostrate myself. the ministrations of a God-fearing man.
Oh, God bless you all very much.
Yes, Papa, with you as my fatted calf, my magnificent sacrifice, I shall rise to the firmament. My rod and my staff shall comfort me.
Once we were perfect strangers, how strangely met are we.
I find I now adore you. Our best is yet to be.
It seems I long to hold you, faint rooted soul.
You love me, so they told you.
Let's not resist this ending.
Once we have kissed, pretending takes no skill. The strangeness makes me feel. Once we were perfect strangers, yet now I love you perfectly.
How you feel. But what of Edwin Drood? If only he could speak to us from beyond the grave. What could he tell us? What would he say?
I'm alive! Hello all! I am Lazarus, risen from the grave. Quite alive you find me. This tomb behind me is where I faced my closest shame. When I struck my head against the street, I was stunned, not stricken, locked up, thickened. For Jasper flew me off my feet to the crypt. I woke in dark beyond belief, and while all above me showed their grief, I was screaming full my very breath. Only moments from death, you have no idea the sudden strength that you feel within you. The steel and sinew and fate stand smiling at arm's length. I escaped from cloister and I fled. I did not return